The unknown, what might be the main driving factor for off-roaders and overlanders alike to leave the comforts of their homes, to test themselves and their vehicles to see what they can overcome and where they'll fail. Some say the drive to push the unknown is a key trait that separates the adventurous from everyone else. This is a real overland experience by GenRight, an adventure into the unknown.
Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Noesser.
And I'm Tony Pellegrino, and we just got off the first annual GenRight Northern California Real Overland Experience.
And we saw some amazing scenic views, legendary lakes we swam in, and even better campsites.
We took about 10 people in their vehicles over 4 days. We covered a little bit over 220 miles between Paradise, California and Reno, Nevada.
Well, we just got off the trail, so why don't you sit back and see what happens next. Good morning. It was an early start today. We left Orange County around 4:30. Currently in the valley, heading towards Harris Ranch. If you haven't heard of Harris Ranch, do yourself a favor, go watch the Rubicon video. Got a little 411 while you had to stop there. From there, we're heading north. Right now, we got Tony and Ari in the group. Ari in that beautiful 392, and Tony in his Aftershock. There's road to hit. Let's get going.
And just up the freeway, we made it to Harris Ranch.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a big porterhouse.
Jennings and deja vu at Harris Ranch.
I know, we just did this. I'm so excited.
Oh, I got my steaks.
All right.
What are you gonna get?
I'm gonna get that big porterhouse.
There's a big old porterhouse in the cabinet.
I'm getting it.
After meeting up with the rest of the group, we head north. Our next stop, Sacramento, for a quick bite to eat at the Treehouse, and then off to Paradise. Seeing the devastation of the Paradise fire, or campfire, was overwhelming. Even as we passed by, a ton of foundations are just blank.
Well, we just left civilization and heading into the forest. The group is falling behind me right now.
After an enjoyable drive through the forest, we made to where we're going to stay the night, at a friend's cabin at a beautiful lake in the mountains. As we quickly set up our tents, getting ready for the trip, decided to go out, enjoy a nice little evening, have a little fun.
This is one motley crew. What do we got, Nick? Are we ready to launch?
Hold on, you're not a sissy, you're brave. He's brave. Good job.
Wow.
Marcy is like so attracted to you right now because you came. Good job.
All right, we're good. Prop is clear. Look at that baby. All right. Okay, we are headed out. Now this is just a dock. I want everybody to know this is only a dock, and we have just left. Well balanced. We pulled a battery out of another boat.
With a battery and a motor, it's a boat.
Nick,
That's what makes it for sure.
Can't do anything questionable without a theme song.
And that's how you enjoy life.
Oh, I think I got one.
The lake trout. Oh, wow. That's not that little.
Upon reaching the center lake, we circled and enjoyed a beautiful sunset. With day 0 in the books, time to get some rest and enjoy the night.
Well, it's officially day 1. Last night we actually went up to a buddy of ours, Nick, his cabin. Holy smokes. going to head out soon. We're going to go up to the High Lakes or something like that. Honestly, I have no idea what we're doing. Never been here. This is my first time on this side of the 80 for wheeling in California. Farthest north I've ever been was Rubicon, which is not far from here. Great trail. Do a Jeep Jamboree or Jeepers. But I'm going to finish airing down. The rest of the group's rolling in. Let's see what's ahead of us today. Nothing like airing down. Some brand new tires for the very first time. Got to break in those sidewalls, make them sure they crawl extra good.
With a right turn, we're fishing on the trail. Next stop, High Lakes, OHV area.
Hey, hey.
This is cool.
High Lakes OHV.
I like it.
Well, we made it to our first high lake. Let's see what our altitude is. How high is our first high lake? It is 6,300 feet. Beautiful.
It's never a good sign finding an axe out in the woods.
Maybe there's blood on the axe. I should look.
The Saddle Lake in the background, the group started chatting a whole lot.
Grand out there, but we're gonna get a little bit. Call this the highlight tour.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to start coming out here and doing some wheeling, some overland wheeling.
Yeah, I just skipped a turn that goes over to Saddle Lake, which is one of the prettiest lakes to have lunch at, but it's got a wall that you gotta climb, and I think it would be too long of a walk to the lake for those that want to have lunch at the lake. So we're going to go right over here.
As we're driving along the lake, look off to our left, see Bear Scat. A little unnerving. But not far around the corner, we'd hit our lunch spot. And man, is this beautiful or what?
All right, everybody, this is day one for our High Lakes Overland adventure. We've got the whole group with us. Finally, everybody came together. And we are here in the Lassen Forest at Campbell Lake. Stopped for lunch, and it is just beautiful weather. I think we're at like 6,500 feet. There's snow just a little bit above us through the trees here, and just cruising along and enjoying everybody's company.
Then out of nowhere, someone says there's wild onions over here.
What is that? What do we got here?
This is a wild onion found in the high Sierras, the Sierra Nevada mountains. They grow in certain kind of soil and they get pretty good size. They make a great soup.
Well, with lunch complete, it was time to get moving. Nick said he wants to take us over to Morris Lake because that's one of his favorite trails. Far off in the distance, we see this massive waterfall flowing in the background. It's beautiful. I wonder how tall it is. As we drop down this tight little sluice, slipping and sliding, rocks rolling underneath us, the realization hit. This is an in and back trail, so we have to come back up this very loose, very slippery hill climb. But that doesn't matter. We're here for the adventure and any challenge that is presented to us. I just might not be ready for this much.
Josh, is this pasta?
Piece of cake.
No. Hey, hold it.
You do the bypass? What?
Alright, so what happened? It was, well, going down the hill. It's the hard spot. Get down through all the hard stuff, coming around a corner. And I knew there was a rock I had to drag the rear end over because I just couldn't turn sharp enough. I don't quite have the ground clearance. But apparently there was a rock in the front too. And I didn't know about it at all. So the first time I went to go up it, I thought it was just the rear end dragging, hanging me up. So I backed up and gave it a little more throttle because I was facing downhill and I should have been able to drag it if it's just rear end. Well, lo and behold, giant rock in the front end. Happens. You know, so I always say get out and look if you're not for sure. I should have got out and looked, but got out. Tony winched me backwards. Everyone's happy. You know, be all honest, if you don't get stuck, you're not having fun.
Okay, we'll rescue you.
Come back down this way. What have I got on that side? Am I climbing?
To help winch me out, Tony had to get himself into an uncomfortable spot.
Is that better? Not good.
I don't like it. I'm at that angle. Oh. There we go.
Hit out.
With a quick hit of Tony's winch, I was not stuck. But now, what goes down must go back up. As we're climbing back up to the heavens, see this little 12-foot waterfall? Like, this could be fun. And then realize we still have like 4 more days, and if I break now, I'm in deep, deep. But there's bigger and better Jeeps in this group. While we're having fun at the top of the trail, we look back and the rest of the group isn't having as much luck going up that very steep, loose hill climb. With a wow of accomplishment, Ron is up. Now just getting the rest of the group up and off to the next location. As we're heading over to Bear Lake, someone jumps on the radio and says, "Hey, look off to the right. There's deer." Heading down Bear Lake Trail, things started getting real tight, real narrow, and slippery. The rocks were going bigger, and the trees, well, trying to get into the vehicles. This is another one of those in and back trails. We'll have to see how this goes. After making it around Pucker Point, Nick jumps on the radio and says, "Hey, we made it to Bear Creek swimming hole."
Wow. That's your stuff.
Oh my god! Do it!
It's easy there. Shoot, I gotta go pee.
Feel good?
Yeah, I thought for sure you'd be into that.
Well, I think their facial expressions might have expressed why no one else wanted to get in that water. From here, we're heading down the trail to Butterfly Waterfalls. We were told this is a must stop. Very beautiful. After hiking to Butterfly Waterfall, it was time to get going. We had to head back up the trail, through all the obstacles, and back out to where we were camping at night. This was our first indicator the dust is going to be a major problem this trip. But night one is upon us. Time to relax and tell our war stories.
Good morning. It is day 2, and well, today's the day we start working our way east. Next stop, somewhere between here and Reno.
I haven't brought projects there's no chance I'm getting to. This is the Rubik's Cube of Jeep packing.
Definitely, you got that overloading perfected.
Okay, so let's see. This run actually starts out on an old miner's road. You started out when you hit the dirt. You started up the Humbug Summit Road, and that Summit Road, you passed a wet spot in the road. That's an old spring. You went back, you passed Cuttleback Flat, but the miners would slowly, on their way to Idaho, they were coming up, and there were various positions along the way waiting for the snow to melt as they went up. I could have researched it more, but I didn't.
That's fine. And we're headed for Quincy.
That's it. That's all I know.
Headed for Quincy today.
We're heading for Gold Lakes OHV.
Okay.
Okay, we're going through the Dixie fire footprint, big time. I mean, it's going to go on forever, and you're going to be amazed at how far this fire went. Yeah.
So whether you call it the wingman or caravan rules, just keep the guy behind you somewhere in your rearview mirror. If you can, just stay on the tail end of your next person's dust, and you'll have a much better day. That's it. We're going to get on the trail and
Hit it.
It didn't take very long, and we were already in the burn scars.
So we're getting our first taste of some of these big fires that rolled through here. It's depressing, it really is. I mean, you could see miles through the forest just because everything's gone. We need to do something different. I think maybe is that increase Cal Fire's budget, or is it something different? These people go out here and set these fires. I think some of these, one was like a lightning strike, one was like a PG&E fire, and I think another one was someone set. It's pretty sad.
In the bridge.
So we're moving along. Let's see what's ahead of us.
As we come around the corner, there's a beautiful lake. Off in the distance, green trees, beautiful valley. This is starting to turn epic. We're at our first stop, Humbug Valley, to check out the soda springs. These soda springs have been used for a very long time, when the Indians used to roam the lands to the gold miners. This is known as the Tasman Koyom, or the historic homeland of the mountain Mayadu people. It is said the spirits still roam these valleys and protect the springs thousands of years later.
Is it cold? Oh yeah, it's great.
So on this prairie, this side here, right side of the road.
But like, say, hey boys, happy birthday.
We're moving east yet again. Next stop, unknown. Looking off in the distance, we see this wild hill climb. I wonder what it's like over there.
A town called Bloomfield that now is a skate park. It is old mining town, and we used to drive roads like this going to visit my grandmother.
It's ripped.
It's funny,
With the group getting tired, a break was desperately needed. We stopped. Something more. We just needed to find something different. And we found it.
Well, it's hot out here. Look at this beautiful river in the background. We're gonna jump in, go for a quick swim, and keep heading down the trail.
Well, as we're leaving, we found out we had to backtrack. And remember that road we saw across the valley? Well, that's the only way up the trail, and it is steep. The combination of the steep climb, the high heat, was just a little too much for Mark's Jeep. We had to stop and let it cool off before we continue up the trail. Once we got to the top of the trail, we were dropping down into the Butterfly Botanical Gardens. Not really sure what we're supposed to be looking for. The area sure is beautiful.
So we're driving through the Butterfly Botanical Gardens right now. It sort of looks like we're
Go to the right there, one.
we're at Endor, I think it is, in Star Wars. Like, waiting for Ewoks to walk out, like, no joke. Pretty beautiful, actually. It's like the forest, but it has a bunch of just
Water going across the road.
undergrowth.
Big water.
Anyway, we're moving along. We're getting along in the day, and we still got a good amount of miles to hit. So, we're moving. Let's see what that is.
Not far down the trail, we hit asphalt. From here, we're going to run into town, get fuel, get supplies, then head back out and find a spot to camp tonight. Freshly fueled up, we're back on the road, heading to the trailhead. From here, we're gonna hit some dirt, climb to the mountains, find what might just be the ultimate campsite. With a long day on the trail, the group is ready to relax, have a drink, and eat some dinner.
Man, we got behind you and we got totally dusted out. What are you making here?
Pizza. Why do you want to get wet just to leave? Dinner tonight. Pizza. Hopefully the bears don't like it more than me.
With everyone fed, it's time for the campfire.
Right? Everything they had, they fed that dog, and it's just scarfing it down. I can't get enough.
Of course he's starving.
Cookies, you name it.
They over until they like blow.
Dude, I think Ron gave it a whole loaf of bread. Dude, the turd was like this big.
Oh my
right?
god.
So
Did you have to the rooftop tent.
No, I had to scoop it out with my hands.
Oh
Throw it
god.
off the I'm on the ladder like this going. Good? Fuck, dog. Oh, yeah.
That's terrible.
I hate lifting my dog in and out of mine.
Oh, and then he had to hang all those little Christmas trees in there. Like,
A little forest.
With the night getting late and everyone looking at rooftop tents just slightly different, it's time to hit the sack.
simultaneously, we didn't even talk about it. The contractor goes,
Good morning. Breakfast time. No one died from bears last night. Seems like time to pack up. See what's ahead of us today. Let's get this done.
Alright guys, so I've been asked a lot of times what this Jeep build is. So I'm going to run through it really quick with you. It's a 2019 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited Rubicon. From front to back, I have my GenRight short bumper, stubby bumper. Very important because you want those front tires at approach angles on rocks. That's one of the biggest differences you can make. It's almost maybe a first buy item on a Jeep. From that, we got our super winch. I got the synthetic rope. Only 2 winches I run, Warren and super winch. Get one of the two, you'll be happy. I got our Factor 55 super hook, our Tyree lights, and then we look down and we got rock jock steering, which is thick steel, and I really highly recommend it to steel because you can weld tabs to it in the event you go to PSC. We got our anti-rock sway bar, front and back, so there's no more disconnecting sway bar, and it'll help keep the Jeep way more stable when you're rock crawling and off-road. Tires, I got our Falcon MT 38s, the Wild Peaks, with raceline wheels. As far as sliders on the side, I'm running the GenRight sliders that are the steel, and they actually weld to the frame. That's the important part. You want to make sure all the way to the frame because it's going to give you that extra protection and allow the extra beating. So if you slip off of something and come down hard on your slider, they're not bending your body into your door. These, no big deal. As far as the belly skid, we're running the Arctic belly skid, which is I went with steel and not aluminum. I know people are like, well, aluminum's lighter, but you know what? In places that you're going to be taking hits on rocks, you don't want aluminum. And that's because aluminum actually will drag into something and actually bind you up and stop you. So you want that harder metal because you want to be able to slide off an obstacle. You know, there's only a couple places I'd probably say don't use aluminum. Sliders, belly skid, and of course anything low. One thing I highly recommend doing is I put a rock jock suspension on it, and it came with a steering stabilizer relocate kit. Go buy that kit. Rock Jock sells it. Get that steering stabilizer up so it's not the lowest thing. As far as diff covers, you need to swap those out, get those factory ones removed, and go to a Moto Built. There's other companies out there that make them. You want plate steel diff cover, not cast. And the reason for that is cast will break when you get hit by or it hits a rock. Moving to the back of the Jeep now, we have our GenRight tire carrier, which I highly recommend because it's 4 points connection, which is way stronger. It allows you to put more weight on the rear end, and even if you drop off a ledge or something like that, that 4 points connection might allow a couple hits before things start bending. I use Rotopack tire carrier or Rotopack tire mount fuel system because I don't need gas most of our trips. We're out on the trails a lot, but there's only very few trips a year where I need that extra fuel. In this case, we're running 8 extra gallons of fuel because we're doing 160 miles between stops, and 40 of it is rock crawling. As far as cooking, I go ahead and use my Timbo Tuscadle. Be honest, I started out not really a scuttle person, and I always used my grill and stove and everything else, and I was like, well, this is, it's a little inconvenient. Over time, I realized how convenient a scuttle really is. It's actually all your cooking devices in one, so it's less material to bring with you, easier to cook with. You can buy a couple attachments for the burner to make your burner into a pot burner. Can't go wrong. Well, and that is the basics of this 2019 Jeep. If you ever see on the trail, you're welcome to come ask me questions, why I did certain things. But I'm very picky about how I build my vehicles, and I do mean very picky. I use them so much, they need to be able to last years with zero maintenance, and that is the key thing. You're better off spending a little bit extra money in the beginning, doing it right. You asked me what kind of vehicle you should build, and you're just starting out. I would say recommend start out in the rock crawler area. Focus on more of a rock crawler build. And the reason for that is it's all stronger. And if you decide to go do overlanding, it doesn't take much to add to a rock crawler build. And the big advantage is if you have a rock crawler build, you have a capable Jeep that can go anywhere. So if you're out in the most remote places, like, and you come across a 4-foot ledge, if you have a rock crawler build, it's no big deal. But for the people who build their overland vehicles and keep stock and cheap products, they can't do it, they break, and that's it. So that's my personal recommendation. We're about to get out of here, so let's get going.
For day 2 on the trail, we're heading up to the peak. Someone says there's a fire lookout tower just around the corner. So we loaded up the Jeeps, headed around the corner, and boy, are these views something else.
Must be coming to get ready to remodel it, maybe.
Oh, yeah, with the temp here. All right, go. Prove it wrong. You can start the auction at $7 million. Not bad, huh? All right, let's go check it out.
Put your foot, yeah. Today's not the day to go up there. I'm not sure you can see it from down there.
It's nice. Yeah, this is cool. So this must be really old. Trying to get people too. I know. I didn't want to be there.
Well, we're rolling again. Our next stop, somewhere near Gold Lake's OHV area.
I got you already go.
As we pass this very sketchy bridge, it makes me reflect back on life and realize we've been to some amazing places.
afternoon. I was hoping to drop it off Friday for your...
The group decided to take a break, and man, this campsite is stunning. Nick started telling us about the area.
After crossing the Middle Fork, you go through all that logging stuff.
I said, you owe me a gallon of fuel for that.
Then once you start dropping in, you can see it change. And the foliage is all there, and you're on a rocky road. And that's the Gold Lakes OHV area.
Okay.
We're not there yet?
Yeah, we're there. Yeah, this is part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we're going to see, we're going to basically go up to that ridge for lunch, hopefully.
Okay.
And then that kind of stays up. There's a lot of ridge and dropping back down. We'll do Snake Lake, which is pretty fun.
Does this have a name, this campground?
Ross Group Camp. Yeah. Cool. I like how you got that in for the camera. That's
what is
smart.
Snake? Look me in the eye. What is Snake Lake Trail rated?
I would guess
Dell's very concerned
the
about
easy way is a 6 or 7. The harder way is a 7 or an 8.
Is it in and out?
Yeah. No, we're going to start at the bottom of it, and you're going to look and see either you can go up the hard part, or you can go up the Deer Lake part, and it's easier that way.
Okay, so
in and out, or
we might go round and round and round.
So let's back this up. What would you rate what we just did so far this morning?
1. And then, but halfway up is the oldest ski area in the world.
What?
The world. It's the oldest ski lift in the world, and it's the oldest ski areas, and they actually have longboard competitions. Wow. And the longboards are about 10 to 12 feet long if you watch them. And you know, they can't really turn. They can just kind of go straight down the hill. So it gets pretty exciting for them as they get to the bottom. Cool. And then over there's a little, still open, there's a little resort over there. I actually thought about, if we got here and it was like 4 o'clock, it's like a 4-star restaurant over there.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But yeah, maybe that's a different set of things. So from here on, we hit Gold Lakes, and we'll go through the wheeling spots, and then we're going to start seeing mountain bikers. Because as we get to right where we drop down to Bassett's and out, that's where their starting is for the downhill, the Downeyville Classic downhill. Nice. And it's a 15-mile, 5,000-foot drop on a mountain bike. Wow. And it's swoopy, and it's, it's really cool. Sounds good. And they shuttle it. So the shuttles come up Highway 49, drop them off, and then they downhill it, and today's the big race.
After an enjoyable break, it's time to get going. Next stop, unknown. As we ascend the mountains, the views start getting better and better. 10, 20, 30, 100-mile views. Mountaintops off in the distance covered in snow. The trees, just stunning. This could be my favorite part of this northern adventure overland trip. After we pop out of the trees in this open valley, we look up to our left at some stunning views, but there's a patch of snow. I think it's time for a break.
Yeah, careful, that looks like snow, but it's more like ice, and it's very slippery.
Hold on that.
Oh, hell no, that's hard as a rock. Oh, yeah.
I'm taking your video.
Lemonade.
Dave, call your wife and check your life insurance policy first.
It's just like they're bad. There was one. Yeah, they're around.
Give me $100.
James,
These little black flies.
be careful.
How's it going back there?
It's going really good. She's driven the whole day so far.
Bye, James.
In fact, that's why I came to this man.
Oh no.
Hey Nick, I have a quick question for you. So I've been having.
Bye, James.
When did we start getting into the stuff?
We're gonna go up there.
Tuck it around.
Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
James ended up sliding down the hill. He got some minor injuries, but he'll recover. On the other hand, Ron did say something about giving him $100 if he got that money. As we continue up the trail, the scenery just gets better and better. At this point, the group's starting to get hungry, so it's time to take a lunch break.
Those chips are actually really good. I had those ones before. I'm in. It's always really fun.
Hey, I wonder if you can see our lookout from this morning. They're actually fir cones. You know, I can tell the difference between a pine and a fir.
Yeah, can you make it out good with your binoculars?
Ah, okay.
We packed up lunch and we headed down the trail. First through the haunted forest, then down the backside of the mountain. Rumors are the hardest part of the trip is coming up here shortly. After completing what we thought was the hardest part of the trail, we made the Snake Lake. The decision was to take a quick swim, but then we were informed what's really hard is just feet ahead.
Do you think there's snakes in Snake Lake?
Swim to the center. All right, well, you tried.
Well, it's like kind of soft and muddy and deep.
Nasty. I think I have to wait until the next stop.
I mean, I bet it's fine right there. It's not too cold.
Winston.
Feels good. Go back the other way, dude. Not coming in?
Negative.
It's time to push on, and the hill climb is steep. Potential rating, 8+. This is going to get interesting. Quick. And as quick as that, the unthinkable happens. While recording, Ari drove off the trail and is now dangling over a cliff. An immediate and quick response is needed, or something will go wrong.
Oh, you have a controller!
With tensions running high, miscommunication was happening. We realized that Ari couldn't access his winch controller, so Nick and I took a minute, discussed, and turned Mark around to use him as a second winch point. From here, Nick is going to guide everyone and get this vehicle back on the trail.
Tony, a little more. All the way. There you go. You start driving and we're going to win. Ready?
More. A little less, Tony. A little less. Let it pull up. All right, more, Tony. Hey, no throttle. Don't have no throttle. Let him just use winch.
A little more. All the time, full wind.
All right, in a little, Tony. In.
spot. It's just embarrassing. Yeah, it's just to be embarrassing. Save, we're good.
Put on a show for everybody.
All right. Thanks, Ari. We were getting bored.
I guess not having any issue on a trip just wouldn't be right. Let's keep going up this hill.
You can't see where you're at. You want to be up on the right. There's one little rock going out. The second rock.
Saw Rick Fisher down here. Come on. So close.
That's when things changed for the much worse.
Oh. Yeah, I hope not. Hope it was just a rock.
Sound like a snap. Sound good. Oh, I just heard it again.
I think you might need to back up. Oh. Yeah.
What appears to be a broken rear end and a broken front end, we're going to be winching. First, we're going to try to use Heat Wave, which is Ari's Jeep, to get him up the hill.
Tell Chad to come in. Or winch in. Oh, he's disengaged. Not engaged? Oh, it is. Okay. It looked like the panel sideways. All right, he's about to get tight right now, okay?
With the hill being in a 30-degree incline, big bumps you have to go up, rocks, and other issues, it was determined one winch is not going to be enough. So we're bringing in a second winch to make this a little easier. Now what we're doing is we're actually going to use Chad's winch himself. We're going to tie him to a tree so he's pulling up, and then Ari is going to throw a winch cable down to pull him up the hill. This should work.
Hold it. Stop. So we got a broken ring and pinion, is that what I heard? Get bound in.
So what commonly happens when you're doing these long pulls is the winch cable will get to one side, and then it'll start pinching itself and be unable to remove it. So it's important, if you ever hear these pop sounds, back off, just take a look really quick. The other big thing with these long pulls is you need to alternate your winch cables. So one person's going to pull them up, you both pull up, then you have to disconnect the other winch, let the line back out, re-spool the line, and then hook it back up and pull again.
So Ari, you went from being the save to the savior.
You know, it's one of those days.
Within like 50 feet.
Yeah, pretty much, right? We should have gone for that swim in the lake. None of this would have happened.
We're almost to the top. Just got to get around the corner. After that, we're going to hook 2 Jeeps up to them and drag them off this trail.
Girl, your tidy whitey's coming up. So he broke all 3 things. Front drive shaft and ring and pinion gear for sure. And then what about his axle? Did you break that too or no? I don't know. Like I heard something about the rear axle too.
Yeah, he broke his rear ring and pinion, so he's got no rear or front.
That's an unhappy Jeep right there. It's a really unhappy Jeep.
Go all the way in, and then we'll just start getting room.
Chad's Tidy Whitey is officially on top of the mountain. Now, let's hook up these Jeeps and drag this thing off this mountain.
Alright, so what's going on is Chad broke his front drive shaft and rear pinion. So he's just dead in the water, no power. What we did is we winched him up the hill, and now that we're on top, we're 2 vehicles dragging him to the trail. So we got Chad in the white Jeep, Ari in his blue Jeep. For a while we were using Mark, but we're gonna go ahead and switch out to Tony, as Tony is the strongest second strongest drive line after Ari. You know, you always put your strongest Jeeps pulling because you don't want anyone else to break. It's the smartest thing to do. Tony and Ari are both on Dana 70s. You're not going to beat that. So we're moving up the trail. Hopefully we get to something easy quickly because it's starting to get late.
Now that we made it up to the top, we're going to disconnect one of the Jeeps and just pull with one.
I'm going to go ahead and just pull this. Whoa, 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 whoa! Whoa, watch it. Half? 3/8? Okay. All right, Tony, so what happened?
Well, what happened was 40s on Dana 44 axles. And it was a tough climb, it was slippery, but he got bound up, and then that broke the rear ring and pinion, and then without the rear ring and pinion, it broke the front drive line, and I mean it tore the cardan joint right apart, and now he's got nothing. The good news is his engine runs, so he's got brakes and power steering.
And 2 very built Jeeps ahead of him.
Yeah.
Now, it's time to get off the trail and get to some asphalt. With the end of trail in sight, we were getting excited. But no, this day just is not ready to end yet, apparently.
So this is barely in there, so it's going to be enough just to... So what I need you to do is you got to move and turn at the same time. Real gingerly. And we're just going to try and get straight down here. Gosh, I got it kind of...
Where did it break it?
It sheared the top right off the tie rod.
That forged piece?
No, the actual like bolt that goes through the knuckle.
Okay, let's police any tools.
What'd you do, Ron?
I followed Tony.
Is that what you did?
GenRight.
Hold this.
I followed Tony. Actually, it's lasted pretty good because I also went to a couple other runs with you. I don't know how this broke off.
Well, loose nut behind the wheel will do it every time.
What is it?
You were complaining about your steering. Suck.
I'm gonna.
I'm pulling pants, so I'm not giving on 2 shows at the same time.
Okay, I'm
Come on, I always thought you were a plumber.
Fire extinguisher if you're commanding me to do so.
He sprays them in the ass with fire extinguisher.
Black. Alright, we're back. Oh, come on. Are we on?
We're on. Ready to rip.
You want to put some water on that blanket or towel before it catches on fire?
Her phone it back.
For real, it will.
There you go.
There you go. Alright, we'll drive down there and have you fix it.
Hang on, that's not
Do you
really
want another glove, Josh?
I'm just trying.
Should it be straight?
I'll hold this. Right there.
No, come back to Jeep.
Right there.
I'm pissed.
That's the middle.
You ever see 2 monkeys play football?
Fill it in.
Yeah, just fill it. Give me a.
What do you need?
Give me +2
Okay.
on speed.
You got it. Done.
Okay, thank you.
What's that glass thing in your hand? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
You can look, just so you can look through this and I'll find you.
I know, I'm just you're careful.
Now we can turn it with the vice grips.
Yeah, let's turn on the vice grip so I can get to the next spot. Yep, buddy.
Yeah, that's
Ron, you hear that?
Say it again. You need to inflate that tire.
Like 60.
Getting that already?
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, I am.
That got hot.
Why? Because it'll just turn
Both
a
front
lot
tires,
easier.
right?
Yeah, I'll just do both. Well, I'd actually leave that one lower, like 30. Because you want one tire to be dominant.
Okay. Well, how far can I drive on that?
To camp.
To camp.
And then
And you're gonna figure it
what
out.
do you do?
This is good enough.
Fill it.
Need it. Just
Oh,
don't
where?
turn.
Watch your fingers, some toasties.
Man, he's got some good fingers. Must be a lot of calluses going on.
No, you pulled it back on. Okay, where's that nut?
Oh, nice.
Right here.
Got it on there for me?
Damn, dude, you're good.
I've done some stupid shit in the trail. I just like
This is just carnage, so I just
I like these because you can use your fingers. I couldn't.
With the rest of the group excited to see us, it's time to get to camp.
Well, we've got two
Head guy can go
roto packs of water. They're both hot. So I'm gonna stand like on the back of the Jeep or on the table or something, and I'll just rinse the water down as you need it. Yeah.
Okay, I like it.
With everyone back at camp, sigh of relief. Today was a hard day.
Well, it's the final day on the trail, and we woke up to rain. Something we wanted well before the start of this trip. I mean, we don't have a lot today. Well, in theory. So we actually have a lot of miles, but it's all major dirt road. At least, hopefully, the dust will be down. But man, it was so nice last night. It was like sleeping on top of the sleeping bag warm. Of course, around 6 o'clock, I decided to sleep in and it starts raining. Oh, let's get finished getting packed up and get out of here.
The group is slowly waking up, eating their breakfast, cleaning up their tents. With this insane amount of attrition yesterday, several people decide
The only thing I think
it's time to go home.
So,
I'm on the corner.
everyone always wants my skills or my Starlink. Society nowadays.
While Ron and Chad used my Starlink to make phone calls to call for AAA, the rest of the group packs up, and gets ready to go. Last day. Let's do this.
Alright. Starting off day 3. Saturday, July something. Look at all the cute GB Jeeps. Beep beep.
My seatbelt on.
That was a very, very nice campground.
That was really nice, man.
Beautiful, peaceful.
Yeah, just amazing.
Good temperature.
Yeah.
Since things were so far behind, we decided to run a little bit of asphalt to get to the next gas station.
So the morning's getting going. We headed Ron and Chad and James off. Dell moved on, so did Mark. But we are continuing on. We stopped, got gas really fast. And, well, we're back on dirt. The goal is basically Nevada. So, we're keeping on, and let's see what's ahead of us.
Finish line so close, we started hearing a knock. Best take care of it while we can. I'm going nowhere.
It's a body panel. You need to do anything with that.
So you think it's the upper, huh? Yeah, that's the one that was. I could feel movement at it. But
I might not be able to get to it.
It might be the joint. No, that's plenty tight. Okay. All right.
Check the bottom while you're there.
After finding a couple loose bolts, we have the assurance we need to finish this adventure.
Sort of interesting is we're going down the trail.
Generally indicating it's getting drier and drier.
And when we left the mountain peaks, it was a completely different pine. And I think we're in a ponderosa pine now in yellow fir. As Nick was saying, this is typical when it's drier environments. You see these ponderosas and yellow firs. So, I mean, it was just like all of a sudden it was a completely different type of tree. Really weird. Summit in our hour in Reno. Time to keep it on. Here we go.
With the amazing camping, stunning views, life-altering situations, obstacles had to overcome, repairs that are near impossible, this was truly a real overland experience. Till our next adventure, I hope to see you on the trail.